Recording. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. And today we'll be starting with a topic that is Java collection frameworks. So now, basically, in the last session which I covered, I talked about some Spring Boot related concepts over there. And moreover, before starting with the implementation part of Spring Boot, generally it is being asked to know Java collection frameworks, because while working with the Spring Boot mechanism, we'll be encountering with certain Java frameworks over there. So a programmer needs to know these things. So that's why we are starting this. And most probably this would be the last topic which I'll be covering before starting the implementation part of Java collection. That is the Spring Boot mechanism. And so this is the last topic today that we'll be covering. If there is any topic left, we'll also discuss it in the next session while working with the implementation part. So now this is the agenda that we'll be covering. That is the introductory part of the Java's collection framework, core interfaces of the collection frameworks, map interfaces, additional collection types, and best practices for using collections. So now here we'll be starting with the introduction to Java collection framework. Uh, Now collection framework will be starting with the collection core interfaces of the collection frameworks. So what are the core interfaces? So collection interfaces means the root of a collection hierarchy. It defines the basic operations like addition, removal, or the size. List, ordered collection, sequence, allow duplication. Sets, unordered collection that does not allow duplicates. Queue, a collection of holding elements prior to processing. And a map, a collection of key value pairs allowing unique key with values associated. So now, while working with the collection framework, we'll see a collection interface. Now, what exactly a collection interface means? A collection interface contains some basic operations like addition, removal, and size. Now, basically, the collection interfaces are being used in Java collection frameworks with certain sort of frameworks like hash map, hash set, hash tree, linked hash set, or sometimes even we use it in array list, etc. Now we'll be seeing related to the list. Now list is an ordered collection of sequences that allows some duplicates elements. So basically this the query which we usually have in list is that whether we can hold duplicate values or not. Yes, in list we can hold the duplicate values, but in case of a set, it is an unordered collection which is not having any sort of duplicate values. So this is one of the most key feature which we must know, that in a set we cannot contain duplicates values. Whereas queue is a type of a collection for holding elements prior to processing. Now, obviously, here queue is, I have mentioned queue, but you can also use a stack also over there. But most probably, generally, while working with Spring Boot mechanism, we use queue as it is one of the best part to handle and hold element prior to processing. So that is the reason why we are using queue. And then the last one is the map. So a map is a key value pair. It is actually a connection of a key value pairs that allow unique keys with value associated. So now this is the basic collection interface that I have talked about. Now what is the list
Yes,
interface in
uh,
Java frameworks? Yes.
map is basically equivalent to a dictionary in Python.
Yes, yes, obviously.
Okay.
So now we'll be moving on with the list interfaces. Now, as we have talked about, that list is a collection that maintains the insertion order and allows duplicates. Now, obviously, what exactly a list means? In Java, basically, list is used in the form of an array list. That is a dynamic array implementation. As it provides a very fast random access of the elements, and moreover it is quite simple to understand by a programmer who is working with the help of arrays. The second thing is good for searching operation, but it is slow for insertion deletion in the middle. While if you are using an array list, that is a list interface, it will be very easier for a programmer to search for a number or a sort of a word or a alphabet, whatever the thing is stored inside in that array list. Searching is very good by using array list, but at the same point of time, insertion and deletion is one of the critical thing that a person will encounter while working with array list. Now the another thing is the linked list. So a linked list has basically various type of formats like singly linked list, doubly linked list, but most probably the type of a linked list that we use generally related to Java Spring Boot is a doubly linked list. And while working with the implementation part, we'll be seeing how exactly we use doubly linked list while developing projects on Spring Boot. So in that case, we'll be seeing about the linked list in detail over there. Now, if what happens in our linked list is that efficient insertion and deletion at the both end is one of the key feature of a linked list. That is the most important and the most conceptual part that a programmers need to know while working with a linked list. And second thing is that it is quite slower than array list for random access. So there are some sort of advantages which an array list is having, and there are some sort of advantages which a linked list is having. But both contain some sort of disadvantages as well. But while working with Spring Boot projects, we'll see how exactly we can use both of them to minimize the disadvantages level of both these list interfaces. The second one is the third one is the vector, that is a synchronized thread safe implementation of the array list that is less commonly used today. Now obviously vectors are not used nowadays, but generally vectors were earlier used for Spring Boot. But since it is an outdated fashion of using vectors nowadays, so now generally programmers never use vectors while working with their project. And now, what are the use cases? When order matters and duplicates are allowed, we use list interfaces over there. That is, there's an example that I have mentioned, that is maintaining a list of user emails, storing historical logs, for managing task list. Now, what are set interfaces? Now, obviously, we have seen that the set interface is a sort of a collection framework that is very important nowadays, because we have seen that in a list interface, duplicates are allowed. But if a programmer wants no sort of duplicates in his or her program, then he must use a set interface. Now, what exactly a set interface does? Let's see. So definition says a collection that does not allows duplicates and does not guarantee order. So what happens in a set is that it will not the set will not contain any sort of duplicate values. But there is a sort of issue that if a programmer wants to get the output in a particular order, then the order is not guaranteed. As in a set, it might happen that a person might lose the order. Now, what are the key implementation? That is a hash set. Implements set using a hash table. Does not maintains any order of elements of a constant time performance for basic operations like addition and removal. The second one is the linked hash set. Maintains insertion order using a linked list. Slower than hash set due to overhead of maintaining order. And the third one is a tree set. Basically, a tree set is used while working with a red black tree, and this is a small topic that you will be studying when you will be in the BTech third year. If you are doing that, so you'll be studying this particular red black tree topic over there in data analysis. Sorry, design and analysis of algorithm, that is so over there you'll be seeing this a red black tree that is used for storing elements in sorted ascending order, and it has certain sort of operations like addition, removal, and contains have a time complexity of log n, so which is very useful for our programmers while who are using this. So what are the use cases that a programmer will use while working with a set? That is when duplicates need to be avoided and the order is either irrelevant or needs to be sorted, we use set interfaces. Now, what are the example? That is sorting unique IDs, tracking unique visitors on a website, or implementing a set of features to in a program. So now second one is, now we'll be moving to the next slide, that is the map interfaces. Now in the map interfaces, let's define what exactly a map is. So it is a collection of key value pairs where each key is unique and each key maps to exactly one value. So a map is basically like a key pair that holds a value, and there is a separate key that is being associated with that particular value, and we use that particular key to access that value whenever required. So what are the key implementation of maps? That is a hash map. That is, it is based on a hash table, and there is a no guarantee of order again in a hash map. It is a constant time performance on the basis of operations like get, put. Linked hash set maintains the insertion order, provides predictable insertion iteration order. Tree map implements map using a red black tree, stores entries in sorted order according to the natural orders of key or by a custom comparator. Then we'll move on to the hash table, that is synchronized version of hash map, and it is less commonly used nowadays. But hash table for synchronized version of hash map, as we talked about, that vectors are not used nowadays. That is the reason why we are not using synchronized version of hash map nowadays. Now the next thing is that a map is a thread safe but less performant due to synchronization overhead. Since synchronization overhead is quite large in our map, so we generally it is not thread safe. And talking about the use cases says that whenever we need to store association between keys value, we use a map interfaces over there. Now, for example, storing configuration settings, user preferences, key value pairs, or counting frequency in a document. So let me tell you a very basic example of this particular hash map interface. That is, you might have used online dictionaries. So now there is a feature while that you can search a particular word using in an online dictionary. Now, how exactly you can do that? That can be easily done by using a by using a map interface over there. Since a map has a certain sort of words and it is having a unique value, and using that particular unique value, you can count the frequency of exactly how many words the user is typing, and using that the those sort of frequency, the programmer can the automatically the system can understand that the user might be trying to search for this particular words, and it automatically displays it to the user when a user enters the click button, and the meaning of that particular word is being displayed. So this is how exactly a map interface will work like. Now we'll be moving on to a queue interface. Now, in the beginning, also related to the introductory part, I told you that you can even use a stack over also the interface also over there. But since queue is one of the most common and most advantageous form of an interface, that is why we need to study this and we need to know about this. Now, a collection used to hold elements prior to processing, that is typically in our first in first out, that is a FIFO order. Now talking about the key implementation, that is a priority queue. Now in a priority queue, a queue where elements are ordered according to their natural ordering or a provided comparator. Now what exactly priority queue does is that each element over in a priority queue is having some sort of priority. Now on the basis of those priority, the program will automatically understand the natural order of processing, which value to be processed first and which value to be processed at the last. And using that, the program can easily work in a smooth manner without any sort of discrepancy. So that is why priority queue is also a important topic in a queue interface. Does not guarantee FIFO order, but instead the priority order of element. Now, second thing is the linked list. Now, can we also use as a queue? where it supports FIFA order with a offer, pool, and a peak method. So these are the some sort of methods which we'll be encountering while working with the linked list, and hope so. I think most of the people who might be seeing this particular video might also know about this offer, pool, and a peak method. So if you want some sort of detail related to these uh, particular methods, we'll be discussing it in the next implementation class, that is on the next week. We'll be starting with the implementation part of the project, so we'll be discussing it over there. Now, the third one is the array DQ. That is a resizable array implementation of a DQ. That is the doubly ended queue faster than linked list for a queue operation. So these are the few queue interfaces that a programmer will encounter while working with this. Now, additional collection types. What are actually the additional collection types? So additional collection types comes like a DQ, that is a doubly ended queue, and it is a specialized queue that allows elements to be added or removed from the both ends. Now doubly ended queue is having a feature that we can insert an element or delete an element from either from the starting or from the end or from the both, when whichever thing the programmer wants, the programmer can easily does that using a DQ. Now, for example, is implementing array DQ and linked list. Now, what are the use cases? Real-time data buffering, undo and redo operations in an application. Now, this particular feature of DQ provides us with a feature of undo and redo operation, a particular operation. Now, obviously, might you might have used various sort of mobile application where there are certain sort of keys which we use to undo or redo some sort of missing data which we might have done earlier, but we want to repeat the same, so we use these sort of DQ methods over there. But as a user, we don't know what exactly we are using, but exactly the programmer who works and uses this particular DQ method knows exactly how a DQ works. Now moving on to the use cases, that is a it provides a real-time data buffering that we have done. Now a stack is a collection based on LIFO, that is the last in first out principle. So we have seen that just like queue, stack is also a collection framework that is based on a last in first out principle. That is the elements which is entered in the last, that the element will be entered first will be deleted the last. That is the first thing, that is the thing that we need to remember in a stack. Now talking about the example implementation, that is a stack is a legacy class, and talking about the use cases is that expression evaluation backtracking algorithms like DFS, and even sometimes we can see a stack to be used in some sort of uh, algorithms in a tree data structures as well. So this is another important additional collection framework that a programmer needs to know. Now, iterating over a collection. Now, this is generally a very important concept which we need to just know about before starting with the implementation part, and that is how to iterate over collection. Now, all collection types except maps provides an iteration to traverse two other elements, that is method, hash, next, and a remove. For each loop is a concise way to iterate over collection, that is a Java copy code. So Java 8 has introduced streams of function style processing of data in the collection. Now there is some sort of codes that I have provided, that is for iterating over collections we'll be using for each loop, which is one of the most commonly, and recently you might have used this particular loop as it is trending in the recent times. So this is an it is this for each loop is a very concise to iterate over collection frameworks in Java. Now performance consideration. Now what are the performance consideration of this particular Java frameworks? That is
I want
time
to add
complexity.
something
So
here,
so in cases of time complexity,
yes, like
yes,
you tell the iterator required the next method, next, and some methods are there for iterator. Yes, in Python also the similar method to assign the iterator. That is the next method.
yeah,
Same method will be there
yes,
on
yes,
program.
yeah, okay. So we were in that particular part of, sorry, we were over there. We were over there, the consideration, performance consideration. So now hash based collection is a time complexity. Now, obviously, hash-based collection, that is a hash set map, or is a typically provides O of one time complexity for addition, removal, and contains operation. And tree-based collection, example tree set, tree map, provides O of log and time complexity for these operations due to underlying red-black tree structure. Now, I think this particular red-black tree structure will discuss this particular red-black tree structure also, because generally this red black tree structure is used for managing and managing the data within the system. So we need to know this red black tree. So most probably next week I think we'll cover this particular topic also of red black tree, because this is very important, I think. And the third one is the linked list, that is uh, our linked list has O of n time complexity for searching, but O of 1 for adding and removing elements at the end. So this is the performance consideration of the Java collection frameworks. Now the third one, now the fourth one is the memory overhead. That is a hash based collection usually consumes more memory due to internal hash table. So this is some sort of a disadvantage, since memory is being consumed at a much larger level. So this is some sort of a disadvantage. Then the fifth one is the linked list requires more memory due to need of storing pointers along with data. So these are the two disadvantages in the performance consideration. That is, there is a requirement of a large value area for storing the data. So this a programmer needs to understand. Now, what are the best practices for using our collections? Now, choose the right collection type. Use array list when you need ordered data of fast random access. Use hash set when you need to store unique element and order is not a concern. Use hash map when you need to associate keys with values. Use priority key when you need elements processed by priority rather than insertion order. Minimize unnecessary objects creation. Avoid excessive object creation, especially when using larger collection or nested collection. So these are the few best practices a programmer must perform while working with the Java collection frameworks, and moreover with the Spring Boot mechanism. Now, what is the conclusion part of the collection framework? So, a collection framework is a powerful tool set that helps in managing and manipulating collections of data. Knowing when and how to use list, set, map, and queue will lead to a more efficient and effective code. And understanding the performance implication and best practices is a key to build scalable and optimized Java applications. So this was an overview of the collection frameworks. Since collection frameworks require some sort of a overview explanation, so that part I have covered today. And from the next week we'll be moving on to the implementation part of all these collection frameworks that I have discussed over there. So most probably the next session that we'll be covering, we'll be discussing it over there. So that was all from my side. If you have any question, then you can ask from me.
I have a question, Suez. Like in
Yeah.
C++, there is a binary search tree implementation. So here,
Yeah.
is there any data structure for implementing like tree? You tell us that tree set and tree map. So if I want to implement a B tree and binary search tree, both are different. So
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Keshav Asti, and after a long gap, today I am again present here to start with my session. So, in my last session, I have done the SQL part 6, and today I will not continuing with the SQL part 7. I will cover that in my next week. But today I will continue with my FSD part 10. So, till ninth part, full stack development, till ninth part, I have already covered. So, today I will covering with the full stack development part 10. So I am not today present with any of the PowerPoint slides, but I will today actually do the practical stuff. Basically, I will implement the server. So we just today there will be only the practical session. So I will just start with my session. So good evening again. So firstly, for creating a server through Express, so we have to move to any of the particular folders. Let's say I'm currently inside the weekly source content, and for creating a particular server, firstly we have to make a one folder, or what I have to say, a repository. So Control Shift N for as a shortcut key to create a folder inside any of the path, and I will write the name of my folder. Let's say server one, and enter. So this is currently I'm inside the server one, and to open a particular GUI path inside the VS Code directly, firstly I have to click on this whole path section, and then I will remove this and write CMD over here, and then press enter. So it will open the same path inside the command line prompt, and from here if I will write the command as code dot, and it will directly open my this server one folder inside the VS Code. So this is the server one folder. So for creating a server through Node.js, so firstly we have to verify whether Node.js is properly installed in our current path or not, where I am trying to create the server. So for this, I will write the shortcut as control and then tilde sign, which is just left before the one button keypad. There is a button one, and just left side of that button, there is a tilde sign. So when I will try to press control and then tilde, it will open the terminal window just in front of me. I will zoom this out so that it will be control plus is the shortcut key to zoom. So firstly, I will write here. Firstly, I will check whether the node is installed or not. So for that, I will write node dash v to check the version. So here you can see I'm getting the output version 20.18.0. So it makes me sure that node is properly installed in my current path. So I will just write clear command. So now for creating a server through Node.js, so firstly I have to install the node modules. And before the installation of node modules, firstly we have to make our empty repository. In our case, the empty repository is currently is server one. So to make the normal repository and node repository, first we have to initialize that normal repository to a node repository. I have to write npm, which is a node package manager, and npm init dash y. So what this command will do? So it will firstly this is np full form of npm is node package manager. So what it will do? It will be initialize my current repository. So here in this case, my current repository is server one, and it will make this current repository, which is a normal repository, to a node repository with the default settings as dash y. So dash y is a shortcut key to make the default initializations. And if I will press enter and execute this query, so it will create one file which is a package.json file. So I will just open this file, what this file is doing. So I will do this, remove this, and I will try to open this package.json. So here you can see there is a some JSON format data which is present inside the package.json. So here you can see there are some key value pairs. So first one is name.server1. It is actually the name which is there inside your server, in which your currently the package.json file is resides in. So it is currently resides in server one folder. So here you can see server one is there, and version and this all the things and main file so if you will not create any of the JS file or any of the server file, then by default it will take index.js as the main file to start up with. So if I will till now I have not created any of the file, that's why it is taking by default index.js. So I will try to when I will try to make the new file as index.js, then I will show you. Now next is the script. So script I will tell you the later on part, and these are the other things. And one of the important thing is dependencies. So right now here you can see there is no key present inside this JSON file as dependency. So when currently because no, I have not downloaded any of the external dependencies till now, so that's why it is not showing here any of the dependencies as a key value, key. Okay. So till now is if anyone is having any doubt, then you can ask. I have just tell you the basic stuff.
बनाना है
How what?
I think whatever this JSON file tells us that it makes a server little bit to import
So
like.
I will tell you, let's say if I have again deleted this file, let's say I've deleted this delete file. Now, now if I will do as npm init, now if I will not write dash y, so what it will do, it will not set this repository, uh, it will not say, it will set that repository as JSON, as a node repository, but it will not create any default settings. So I will have to manually do this. So now if I will write enter, what I have to do? Wait a minute. What it will showing to me? npm. Wait a minute. So here you can see I have to manually write each and everything. So let's say it is suggesting me that package name can be server one. So yes, I will see. I will enter yes. So version name 1.05. So I will do all the things manually. So it is recommended to use dash y as default settings to save our time. So let's say I have to write the description as something uh, first server. FIR is the first server and enter entry point. Let's say if I want to change that index.js as entry point, then I will write any of the file name. So let's say currently I will do enter.
I
Now
will
test
tell you
command I
this
will
is
do
a
enter
little
get
bit kind of a
enter.
web pack.
Yes. So author, let's say my name, let's say author and enters license I will do. So here you can see it's the file is created as server one. Right now why it is not showing to me.
Enter, yes.
Yes. So I will write yes. Okay or yes.
Enter.
Wait a minute. Yes, and here you can see again the package.json is created.
I have
But as I have not
one question.
what?
I have one
Yes,
question.
yes.
If I make a randomly whatever you are like name, version, description, main, scripts, keywords
Hmm.
as it is in the whatever the JSON file tells us, make a random file dot package dot JSON manually and then write this, then similar concept or nothing similar concept. Just copy this and create.
Mainly you are saying okay, you are saying that I will if I will just copy this and delete this whole file
And then again write package.
and then manually try to create package.json, है ना? package dot json and
And
then again if I will paste here,
and
so
run.
whether it will do the same stuff as previous or not, you are just asking this, na?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see whether it will do or not. So it will check by only when I will try to install any of the dependencies. Then
Yeah.
it will be confirmed whether it is working or not.
Yeah. 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 Do it.
So what?
In
Are you
this,
saying
I
anything?
think package is P is capital.
What?
In
I'm not
package,
getting.
package is capital. Like
Hmm.
file name package.json. In that, P is capital.
I don't think so whether it is necessary to be capital.
Okay, so you carry on.
Let's see. Let's npm install. Let's say I want to install any of the dependency as express expra double s, and if I will press enter. So let's see whether if it is successfully installed the package, it means you can manually can create the file and do the pasting like this and it will work. So here you can see node modules is installed successfully. So it means it is working fine. You can manually create this file also.
You,
Okay.
yeah.
So I will again delete all these things and just start with the fresh. So firstly, what I have done, npm-v to check whether node is installed. Sorry, it is showing me the node package manager version. I have to see for node-v and it will say version 20.80. So node is perfectly installed. Now next is npm init y dash file for default for creation of default package.json file. Now next is to create the file which is in my case, let's say index.js as a server file. Here you can see. And after that, what I have to create one server. So for creating a server through Express, so as Express is not an internal library that is provided by us by the JavaScript, so I have to manually download that module, which is an Express externally in our uh, folder. So for externally download any of the these type of modules, I have to write npm, which is a node package manager, install install, or uh, as you can write install also, and you can write as I also. So this both will work. So npm install express, express. Okay, and then if you will press enter, so it will download all the dependencies related to express. Here you can see related to express. Here you can see it is written added 65 packages inside my node module. So when you try to install any of the external modules, so the files which are related to that modules are installed inside this folder node modules. We never have to do any of the changement inside this node modules, because the code base of this node modules is very large. If you will do any of the changement inside this, so it will harm your overall project. So here you can see here one section is created which is an express. So this is the files related to express, and rest all other files are related to node, which will support this express module. So when we try to install any of the package, let's say in our case I have installed Express. So if how you will know that whether how many dependencies is installed for this project? You will not again and again go to this module and search for which dependencies is installed. So better ways to see whether how many dependencies are installed, you have to just click on package.json, and here inside here you can see below it is written dependencies express. So here you can see the dependency, external dependencies which you will install. So for any of the project, this all added to this dependency section. And here you can see this is the express which we have just now installed. So let's say if I want to install any of other external dependencies. So let's say if I want to install npm init nodemon, I will explain what is nodemon is. So for right now I will just execute this, and here you can see just focus on the here. It will add again. Here you can see nodemon is added to this dependency section. Okay,
Yeah.
till here any of one is having any doubt?
No, 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 no. In like, if you remember, I explained in previous sessions YAML file, yet another markup language. In that file, we have to write the all configuration of the
Hmm.
system. Yeah. In that, we have also the dependencies, license, name, version, the all of the things. But these are things written in particular indentation. Similar way,
Okay.
there is a three files if you remember, like JSON, YAML, and XML for communication, and for particular communication system and configuration. There is a YAML file. So that thing I want to add with you. So
This is that can be the good thing. So now I will move to the next part.
yeah.
So here you can see I will write all of the code related to my server here in this index.json file. And for running this file, wait a minute. Firstly, I will write the code. I will start up with my code. So firstly, as we have want to make our server through Express. The another way we can make server is through HTTP. So right now HTTP is not on demand. So as I also don't know how to make the server related to HTTP. I will, when if you will demand, then I can learn and I can show you. But right now I know how to make the server through Express. So that I will tell you. So for importing the Express, I will write firstly I will make one variable which is as Express, and Express is equal to require. So require is a
Your
keyword
screen is
through
paused.
which I can uh, what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what are you saying?
For
Rudraksh?
a bit of time, like your screen is paused. Right now, it's working.
Do you want to say anything?
Continue, continue.
Okay, okay. Okay. Thanks, Rudraksh. Now I will what I have to import right now. So I want to import as Express. Express Express. So Express is wait a minute. Express is installed. Express is just imported in my file. Now for using the Express right now, if I will try to log this file, let's say Express. So now if I want to just if I run this file as node and then name what is the name of the file index.js. If I will press enter here, you can see what you can see. Wait a minute. I will clear this first. Hmm. Why? Why are this showing me this error? Cannot find module express. Oh, spelling is wrong. Express. Okay. So I will again clear this out and enter. Here you can see I am getting the whole. In my morning session, I have just like this. I have imported one of the module which is already. We do not have to manually install that module, which is a FS module. It is already comes up with the JavaScript. But as like this, I also printed the FS module previously in my morning session. Here I can also show you. Like if I will write const. Right now, I will not tell you because if I will tell you, then it will be out of the topics. So right now, my current focus is on making server. So here you can see I am getting one JSON file. Where? Yes, I am getting one JSON file. Here you can see which are large, which containing a large set of functions and other things. So inside this, there is we have to use only those which are related to Express. So I will show you where is the that part. Right now, I will not. Right now, I'm not getting it. So let's say I have just imported the express function, which if I will try to print this express, so it will just what it will do, it will just comes up with large set of JSON objects which contains the key value pairs, and in the values there are mostly the functions. So now for using this these functions related to express, I have to make the one new variable for as const app. You can use any of the name, but the trend is most of the developers use app, so I will also use app. Now I have to use the functions related to express. So what I will do, I will write expr express and enter. So now I can use all the functions with the app name. So for making our server live, there must be something from where I can show. So there must be a port somewhere. So to make our server live. So for defining a port, we can write as const port, and then we can assign any of the port number. Let's say I've assigned 6000. And remember one thing, I don't know exactly, but there are some of the reserved ports also. Like from, I don't know correctly, if Rudransh, you can Google it out. I think from 0 to 2000, there are reserved ports that are used by browsers. I'm not correct, I may be wrong, but I think from 1 to 2000, there are reserved ports that are used by browsers. And after the 2000 number ports, we can, and any developers can use it.
Yeah.
Rudransh, if you will Google it
Wait,
out, then
wait, wait,
it will be good.
wait. Uh,
In between the session, if you got it, then tell me the answer. Now I'm continuing here. Okay.
yes.
So const port, here you can see I have write one port. So in this port only, with this port only, I will make my server live. So for listening the port, to make our port live, what I will do, I have to use one of the functions that are come up with app, which is app dot listen. So what does this listen will do? So listen will just start my port, and one callback function to write a message. Let's say what I will do, I will write like log, and I will write port is live at let's say port is live at this uh, this port number. Okay. So this is how we can make our port live. So to check whether our port is live or not, server is live or not, I have to execute this. So first I will clear this out, and I will write node and the name of the file. The name of the file is index.js, and if I will press enter, so here you can see it is same giving me the message port is live at 6000, and here you can see right now the cursor is hung over here. So because our port is live, so it do not giving me like earlier. If I will show you, if I will write any of the enter command, it will giving me this whole path. But when I will write like this. I will try to run this command. Here you can see the cursor is hung. It means our server is currently listening over the port, which is a 6000 port. How we can see whether it is live or not? So for that, what I will do, I will
I have a small
go
question.
to my this what? Yes, you can ask.
Why always library import in a by const variable?
What? I'm not getting.
Like require keyword require and library in a const variable. Why const is where?
Acha, okay, okay. You can use where and you can use let also. But let's say if you have used where and let your code is very let's assume that your code base is very expensive and it contains a very security level issues. And if any hacker wants to it tries to hack your code base and you have not used as const, so it means it can variate your this variable further on. Okay, it can change your whole this code. It can change the value over this. It can change the value. मतलब होता है ये कि जैसे अगर तुम कॉन्स्ट यूज नहीं कर रहे, कॉन्स्ट का मतलब क्या है? किसी भी वेरिएबल से पहले अगर कॉन्स्ट तुमने यूज कर लिया है, मतलब उसकी वैल्यू जो उसमें असाइन है वो अल्टर नहीं करी जा सकती, रीअसाइन नहीं करी जा सकती। लेकिन अगर तुमने यहाँ पे लेट या वेर यूज करा है, अगर तुम्हारा कोड बेस मतलब बहुत हाई कोड बेस है, एज्यूम करके चलो, अगर वो तुम्हारा किसी AWS के क्लाउड पे डिप्लॉयड है, अगर वहां पे कोई हैकर अटैक करता है तो उसने देखा कि तुम्हारा ये जो वेरिएबल तुमने यहाँ पे लेट यूज कर रखा है, तो वो तो अपने हिसाब से फिर चेंज कर देगा ना, वो अपने कुछ सर्वर डाल देगा वहां पे, वैल्यूज चेंज कर सकता है ना, फिर अल्टर कर सकता है तुम्हारे,
Yeah.
इसलिए होता है।
Okay. Continue.
ठीक है। So, port is live at 6000 number 4. So how we can see whether it is live or not? So for that I have to write like this: HTTP, wait, I want to tell one thing. HTTP 127.0.0.1. This 127.0.1, and if I will write this, so it will act like a local host. This ID is allowed mapped with the local host name domain by default. So if I will write this and enter the port number, so in my case, what is the port number? I forget. Port number is 6000. So here, if I will, Rudransh, you can able to see the URL.
Where? Yeah. 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 Enter.
Okay, okay. Now if I will press enter, so here, why it is showing me? It looks like web page. Itna
Yeah,
might not having
you have to
issues.
write, I think, localhost. Then it will be worked.
No, no, no. It is not compulsion to use localhost. I can write this also.
Yeah.
Localhost 6000.
There's no compulsion, but
Wait a
some.
minute. I will check through the Postman API. Don't worry. Uh, this is another way. I previously have told you what this Postman API is doing. If you have not created any of the front-end pages to send the request to the server, you can do this by this Postman API. So this will do the same as this. Wait a minute. I will show you. So let's say here I will send the request through this. Wait a minute. That is, अरे यार, control minus. So what I will do, I will this 6000 number port, I think. 6000 number port, and my port is already live at 6000. Now if I will send the request as sent. So here you can see it is giving me the response. By preview, it is giving me the response cannot get slash. Already, let's say if I will stop my this server. I've just stopped my server. Here you can see below. Now if I will send this request, it will giving me error, cannot send the request because currently my server is not live. But when I make it live, my server is live. Let's say my server is live at 6000. Now if I will try to send the request, I am getting this something as a HTML output. So by default, when there is no route you have created, so by default the route which is assigned by default is slash route, and our browser will tries to find out in our server code base where this slash route is defined. So it will tries to find out the slash route, and right now no slash route is defined, so it will giving me a HTML output as cannot get slash route. Here you can see it is giving me a slash. So what I can do, I can make it, I can make this, what? This slash dot, I will try to implement this. Wait a minute. App dot get. Can anyone tell me what is this get route I have already told in my previous session, if anyone remembers?
Oh yeah, I couldn't remember.
Okay, so I will again tell you. So there are various ways to send the message to the server. So this is one of the way how we can send the message through the server. These are the methods like get. Here you can see if I will drop down this. These are the ways: get, post, put, patch, delete, head options, and others are also. So these are the ways how we can send the request to the server. So right now I will try to send this request through get request. So my currently request will be get. Now if I will here, if I will print like respond, right now I will not do this respond. Firstly, I will try to make you clear the structure of this. So what this get method will take? Firstly, it will take the location. It right now I want to make the default route at slash, and what I will do inside this code base. मतलब हो ये रहा है, देखो मैं सही समझाता हूँ कि जैसे ये गेट राउट मैंने एक बनाया, ठीक है। जो डिफॉल्ट होता है, अगर मैंने कोई भी राउट नहीं बना रखा है तो मेरा ब्राउजर डिफॉल्ट मेरा स्लैश राउंड ढूंढता है। क्योंकि मैंने स्लैश राउंड पहले डिफाइन कर नहीं रखा था, तो मेरे पास यहाँ पे उसने आउटपुट दिया है कैन नॉट गेट स्लैश राउंड। लेकिन अगर मैं यहाँ पे स्लैश राउंड डिफाइन करता हूँ, लेट से मैंने यहाँ पे स्लैश राउंड अब मैं डिफाइन कर रहा हूँ, वो स्लैश राउंड मैंने यहाँ पे लिख दिया। अब इसके आगे ये कॉल बैक फंक्शन लेता है, ये रिक्वेस्ट डॉट रिस्पॉन्ड। इसके अंदर रिक्वेस्ट एक पैरामीटर होता है, दूसरा पैरामीटर होता है रिस्पॉन्ड। रिक्वेस्ट क्या करता है, रिक्वेस्ट के थ्रू जो फ्रंट एंड से यूजर अगर कोई चीज भेज रहा है पैरामीटर सर्वर को, वो सर्वर पे रिसीव होते हैं रिक्वेस्ट से, ठीक है। और सर्वर को अगर कोई रिस्पॉन्स बैक सेंड बैक करना होता है फ्रंट एंड को या क्लाइंट को, तो वो सेंड करता है इसके थ्रू, रिस्पॉन्ड के थ्रू, ठीक है। ये और डिटेलिंग में बताऊंगा बाद में, लेकिन अभी पहले इस पे देखते हैं, ठीक है। लेट्स से
और
कंसोल डॉट लॉग पे प्रिंट होगा यू आर एट रूट राउट, ठीक है। अगर क्या
ईशो,
कह रहे
तुमने
भाई?
बोला था और भी मेथड्स होते हैं।
क्या मेथड्स होते हैं?
ऐप डॉट गेट के आगे जो तुमने लिखा है वे, और
हम्म।
तो इसके कुछ और मेथड्स भी होते हैं इस तरीके की वो करने के।
इसके आगे और है, वो तो है, लेकिन ये बेसिक जो सबसे डिफॉल्ट है कि मतलब इतना तो मिनिमम है ही। बाकी मिडल वेयर्स लग सकते हैं बीच में, बहुत चीजें लग सकती हैं बीच में, इसके
ओके।
बीच में, ठीक है। वो जब आगे कंटिन्यू करेंगे तब देखेंगे, ठीक
ओके।
है। लेकिन मिनिमम इतना तो है ही,
ओके।
इतना तो यूज करना है, ठीक है। तो अब देखो मैंने क्या किया, सर्वर देखो अभी मेरा 6000 पे राउट है, मतलब 6000 पे है। फाइल में मैंने गेट राउट बना दिया। अब मैं रिक्वेस्ट सेंड करूं अगर, तो देखो तब भी मुझे ये बता रहा है कि कैन नॉट गेट स्लैश राउट। लेकिन अब की बार मेरा स्लैश राउट डिफाइंड है, लेकिन अब ये मेरा क्यों स्लैश राउट बता रहा है कि कैन नॉट गेट स्लैश राउट, जबकि अब की मैंने स्लैश राउट डिफाइंड कर रखा है। वो इसलिए बता रहा है क्योंकि मैंने जो सर्वर लाइव किया वो पुराना जो कोड लिखा था उसके बेसिस पे चल रहा है, अभी लाइव है। मतलब अभी जो ये मैंने यहाँ पे तो जरूर अपना कोड ऐड कर दिया है, लेकिन वो लाइव हो रहा है पुराने कोड बेस पे, मतलब जब मेरा ये लाइन नहीं लिखी थी उसके बेसिस पे अभी चल रहा है, ठीक है। तो हर बार जब मुझे ये कुछ भी चेंजमेंट करेंगे, तो हर बार मुझे वापस से इसको कट करके दोबारा नोड से फिर इसको रीरन करना पड़ेगा। अब मैं यहाँ पे सेंड करूँ रिक्वेस्ट, तो वेट अ मिनट, इसको डाउन कर दें। तो स्लैश डॉट गेट रिक्वेस्ट, सेंडिंग रिक्वेस्ट, वेट अ मिनट, यू आर एट, हाँ। सो हियर यू कैन सी इट इज सेंडिंग विद देखो सेंडिंग रिक्वेस्ट करी तो उसने स्लैश डॉट हिट किया, स्लैश डॉट जैसे हिट किया, ये मेरी लाइन लाइन का जो आउटपुट है वो रन हो जाना चाहिए, यू आर एट रूट राउट। तो यहाँ पे देखो यू आर एट रूट राउट प्रिंट हो गया कंसोल पे,
हम्म।
ठीक है। लेकिन मैं सर्वर के थ्रू अभी क्लाइंट को कोई भी चीज नहीं भेज रहा हूँ, क्योंकि वो मैं भेजूंगा रिस्पॉन्ड से, आरईएस नाम के वेरिएबल से। अगर मैं ये लाइन यहाँ से हटा दूं और यहाँ पे मैं सेंड करूँ रिस्पॉन्ड डॉट सेंड, तो ये एक तरीका होता है सर्वर से क्लाइंट को कुछ भेजना। तो यहाँ पे मैंने भेज दिया कि लेट से मैंने भेजा कि केशव, लेट से मेरा नाम भेजा वापस, ठीक है। अब मुझे ये दोबारा से इसको बंद करके दोबारा से चलाना पड़ेगा, ये हर बार मुझे करना पड़ेगा। लेकिन इसका भी एक शॉर्टकट मैं बताऊंगा कि ये दोबारा जैसे ही तुम मतलब कुछ भी चेंजमेंट करो अपने आप सर्वर दोबारा से रीरन हो जाए। तो उसी के लिए एक एक्सटर्नल फाइल लाइब्रेरी होती है नोडमॉन, तो उसी के लिए होती है। ठीक है, तो अभी हम दिखाएंगे
Like
कैसे।
that
अब
this
देखो, अगर मैं अब रिक्वेस्ट भेजता हूँ, सर्वर मेरा 6000 पे लाइव है, तो अब मुझे एक रिस्पॉन्स मिलेगा, वाई इट इज सेइंग मी कैन नॉट गेट, वाई 6000 कैन नॉट गेट स्लैश राउट, वेट अ मिनट।
you have to select
हम्म
it na. Firstly, you off the selection, yaar. You don't select anything in this code. Yeah, you have to stop this selection. Ah, yes, then run. Try to.
wait a minute, 6000 port, I will send the request. No, I'm not getting that.
Why?
Respond dot, wait a minute, JSON. Okay, try to send. Mm-hmm. 6004, this is a cleared route. Respond.json. Wait a minute. ELS. Firstly, I will try to install one of the dependencies, which is node1, where it's npm install node1.
Less
I
than
think it is already installed in.
less than 1 minute are
Oh,
left. So you just
wait a minute. px npx node1 index.js.
mode mon is
Currently,
written.
my oh, you can end this meeting and make a new meeting. Then I will start with that. अ, तो एक बार फिर से ट्राई करते हैं, अ, उसी से नोड से इंस्टॉल चलाने का। सो नोड index dot ch, so currently my port is live at 6000 number port, and now if I will try to send the request to this port, so now I am getting this output as Kesho. So what it will do, what it is doing. So right now when I have sent the request through this Postman API to this URL, so right now if I will try to this change this 127 to localhost, that will also work as same, because localhost, because 127.0.0.1 is mapped with this localhost domains by default. So now if I will try to do the same, so I am getting the same output again, Keshav. So you can write both, any of these two. Okay, so now with this, if I when I have hit this port 6000 port, so with this get method, so what it will do, it will try to search for this dot get method with this slash route as a route name. So it will try to run the code which is written in this callback function. So this callback function takes the two parameters. First one is request, and second one is respond. So when the server has received any of the data from the front-end user, so it will receive through this request, and if the server wants to send anything to a client, it will be sent through this respond. So what this response, so currently when I have hit for this 6000 slash port, so what the server has sending me back, it is sending me this message Kesho as message as a response. So in response, what I am getting this Kesho as a response. So if I will try to change this, let's say welcome, 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 and now if I will again tries to this send that, so right now again I am getting this Kesho, because currently the server is live at 6000 port with the previous code uh,
Mm-hmm. I
which I
know.
have just written previous.
Yeah, yeah.
So I again have to this rerun this, and now if I will try to send this request again, uh, I have to this close this also, I think.
Right, right, right.
Mm. Again, Rudransh, can you hear some background noise right now from my side?
No.
Okay. Now if I will try to send the request again, right now I am getting the welcome. Here you can see.
Welcome. Mhm.
Okay. So this is how I can do. I can send the request through this part. So now, if now this is the way how we can send the request to any of the route. Let's say if I want to create any another route. Let's say I want to right now if I want to create the route through any of the another method. Let's say post. So what I will do, I will write this post, and I have to define one path. Let's say what I have to post. Uh, let's say example. Let's say route name is example, and then same callback function request comma respond, and then add arrow function. And let's say now if I will send the message again, and let's say now what I will send the message as right now I am I am inside example route. I'm inside the example route. Okay. So uh, now again I have to this close this and rerun the server. So because क्योंकि हम ये नहीं चाहते कि बेर बेर अगर कुछ भी चेंज करे तो सर्वर मुझे दोबारा चलाना पड़े, दोबारा फिर से उसको रीरन करना पड़े, ये अपने आप ही होने लगे। तो इसको कराने के लिए एक मॉड्यूल है इसको जिसका नाम है नोडमोन। ठीक है। तो करंटली नोडमोन इंस्टॉल है कि नहीं ये चेक करने के लिए मुझे यहाँ देखना पड़ेगा। तो करंटली नोडमोन इंस्टॉल है मेरे पैकेज में। ठीक है। तो इसको डायरेक्टली यूज कर सकते हैं, तो इसको हम क्लोज करेंगे। ठीक है। npx, तो npx इज अ कमांड टू रन दी nodemon। ठीक है। npx nodemon and then name of the file in which your server code is written, and if I will press enter, so here you can see if I will do any of the changes. Let's say I am inside my index.json, and let's say if I have please focus on this area, how it will restart the server again. So let's say I have changed this one keyword as route, and now if I will move to this section, here you can see it automatically start my server again. Okay. So this is how nodemon works.
Yeah, yeah.
So now if I will try to what I have to do, let's say if I want to access this post, I want to access this slash example route. So through it is written in post request, and if I will write here example exam pl example, and now if I will try to send, what I will get? Wait a minute. So it is a post request slash example slash example, and now everything is right, I think. Respond out said yes. Why I'm getting this welcome? I think Postman API is not working correctly today.
We have to complain the postman.
So if I will write this example again, yes, I am getting this answer. Yes, right now I'm inside the example route. Okay. So this is how we can create the routes by ourselves and by this different post methods. So this is the one way how we can server will send the request back to the client. This is the normal message, but actually how this normal message is coming to the browser, because the browser only receives the HTML format. But if I will try to originally show you like through our Chrome browser, uh, let's say http uh, http slash localhost 6000. Hmm? Unsafe port. Why it is showing me this today? I will resolve this error furthermore, but right now cope up with me. What I have to say? So let's say right now I'm sending this normal message, but actually how it is received to me, this is received to me in the HTML file. So that I will show you next time, because right now I don't know why it is not working. So now I will send you, let's say if I want to, if the server wants to send any JSON file. So what I have to do, I have to just write respond.json, and whatever I will write inside this bracket, it will comes to the client in the form of JSON. Let's say if again I will change this get and 6000 route. Now if I will try to send the request again, what I am getting? I am getting the response in the form of JSON file. Here you can see how we can know this the response in the form of JSON. Here it is written JSON, and if I will do this preview, this also. So right now the things which I am getting is in the form of JSON, because if I will try to show you like this, because in JSON format is in the key value pair. I can write also like this a message message. And let's say if I will write any of the message, let's say a show AWS THI. Okay. And now if I will again send this request, hmm, why this Postman API is not working? Why today?
We have to complain it to the post office.
Complain in post office. Yeah, take it. So 6,500, and now if I will send the request again, here you can see I'm receiving the receiving the output from the server in the form of JSON. Here you can see parenthesis is written and key values is written. So this is how we can send the response back to the client. We have seen the normal how we can send the normal message back and how we can send the JSON message back. So there are the various things, like we can also send the status with this also. Let's say if everything is right, then we can write as this status JSON. Wait a minute. Respond dot uh, status. Let's say status. If everything right, then status is 200 and a dot JSON. So let's say with this JSON output, I am also sending this status code as 200. So now if I will send the request back again, so here you can see I am getting the status code this 2000 okay, which is basically everything is right. So it is sending me the okay. Now if I will change the status code as let's say 411, let's say. So now which means matlab something is wrong. Now if I will send the request, so here you can see I am getting the status code and 411. So it is giving me the response is something, which means that the status code which are just after the 400 are basically for those if any of the some if any of the something is wrong, then these codes are started from 400. So this is how we have just created the basic server. This is basic server code. So this is for by my side for today. So thank you. We will see the next server with this front end part also in our next session. So thank you. If anyone is having any doubt, then he or she can ask.
एक सेकेंड.
Hmm. And one thing more, to stop the server, the shortcut key is Control C. Okay, and then Y to stop the live server. So this is you have to remember this. Okay. Now I will cross this out, and I will complain this Postman API why it is why I have to again click on that link.
Okay.
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 Rudransh, do you
Can
want to
you
ask anything?
summarize the session? Basically,
What?
all the process explain in one like 2 or 3 sentences with summary conclusion.
Okay. I will tell you the shorter summary. So what today we have seen. So firstly, we have seen today how we can create the basic server through the Express. Okay. So for firstly, what I have done initially, I have created one folder which is a server one folder, which is basically the normal repository. To make the normal repository as node repository, firstly we have to write one command inside the command line, which is a
हिंदी में कर दो.
npm init. क्या?
हिंदी में भी कर दो, समराइज है ना.
ओके तो ठीक है तो उसमें कर दें. तो उसमें ही देखो हम लोगों ने सबसे पहले क्या देखा कि हमको क्योंकि सर्वर बनाना है एक्सप्रेस के थ्रू. तो सबसे पहले मैंने एक फोल्डर क्रिएट किया था सर्वर वन. ठीक है. तो उस वो जो फोल्डर क्रिएट था, फोल्डर को रिपोजिटरी मतलब एक ही टर्म होता है. ठीक है. तो वो जो रिपोजिटरी की क्रिएट हुई थी वो नॉर्मल रिपोजिटरी थी, लेकिन मुझे क्योंकि उसके अंदर सर्वर क्रिएट करना है तो उसको रिपोजिटरी को नो रिपोजिटरी की तरह मुझे बनाना था. तो उसके लिए मैंने कहा पहला कमांड जो चलाया था वो था node package manager npm initialize this repository as default. So command उसका था npm init dash y. तो उससे
Similar
मुझे एक
command
फाइल क्रिएट.
is used to initialize the command for GitHub. If you want to send any request to your GitHub, then you should make git init command on that repository or a folder. Continue. हम्म
सो तो मैंने npm init डैश फाइल चलाया था, जिससे मेरी डिफॉल्ट एक फाइल क्रिएट हुई थी पैकेज डॉट जेसॉन। तो पैकेज डॉट जेसॉन मेरी मेन फाइल होती है, ठीक है, जिसके अंदर जो मुझे मतलब इजीली किसी भी डेवलपर को बता देती है कि उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोजेक्ट में कौन कौन सी डिपेंडेंसीज इंस्टॉल है, उसकी मेन फाइल कौन सी है, और बाकी और भी चीजें, ऑथर का नेम, ये सब वगैरह, लाइसेंस वगैरह, ठीक है। तो उसके बाद मैंने क्या किया, क्योंकि मुझे एक्सटर्नल डिपेंडेंसीज इंस्टॉल करनी थी। एक्सप्रेस मेरा साथ में नहीं आता है जावास्क्रिप्ट के, ठीक है। एफएस मॉड्यूल मेरा साथ में आता है जावास्क्रिप्ट में, तो मुझे उसको एक्सटर्नली मैन्युअली नोट पैकेज मैनेजर के द्वारा इंस्टॉल करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है, एक्सप्रेस को करनी पड़ती है। तो उसके लिए मैंने यूज किया था कमांड npm init npm install या फिर npm i एंड देन नेम ऑफ द डिपेंडेंसी विच यू वांट टू इंस्टॉल। तो मैंने एक्सप्रेस npm i एक्सप्रेस करके मैंने इंस्टॉल कर दिया था। तो एक्सप्रेस से रिलेटेड जितने भी फाइल्स थी वो मेरा अपने आप एक नोड मॉड्यूल्स नाम का क्रिएट हुआ फाइल। तो उसके अंदर मेरा एक एक्सप्रेस नाम का फाइल फोल्डर क्रिएट हुआ, इसके अंदर एक्सप्रेस से रिलेटेड मेरी सारी फाइल्स आ गई, और बाकी जितने भी और भी फोल्डर्स हैं तो वो उसी के साथ आते हैं, नोड के साथ। तो अब कभी
हम्म
भी हमको नोड मॉड्यूल्स नाम का फोल्डर को कभी नहीं छेड़ना चाहिए, ठीक है। जिससे कि क्योंकि वो उसको अगर कोई चेंजेस कर दोगे तो गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, ठीक है। अब अगली चीज आई कि मुझे कहीं पे भी तो सर्वर कोड अपना लिखना पड़ेगा ना। तो बाय डिफॉल्ट जो पैकेज डॉट जेसॉन अपने आप से इंडेक्स डॉट जेसॉन ले लेता है, लेकिन
हम्म
अगर कोई और भी नाम नाम अगर हम लग देते हैं जैसे सर्वर डॉट जेएस, तो यहाँ पे वो अपने आप कैच कर लेगा, और नहीं कैच कर पाता तो यहाँ पे सर्वर डॉट जेएस लिखना पड़ेगा, ठीक है।
जल्दी जल्दी।
सो इंडेक्स डॉट जेएस नाम की मैंने फाइल क्रिएट करी, उसके अंदर मैंने सबसे पहले एक्सप्रेस को इंपोर्ट किया। एक्सप्रेस के फंक्शंस को इंपोर्ट करने के लिए मैंने ऐप में उसको इनिशियलाइज कर दिया, कॉल कर दिया फंक्शन। तो अब ऐप के थ्रू जितने भी मेथड्स हैं मुझे मिल गए, ऐप डॉट गेट, ऐप डॉट पोस्ट, ऐप डॉट पुट, ठीक है। उसमें से भी सबसे पहले मैंने देखा कि सर्वर को पोर्ट, किसी भी पोर्ट से लाइव करना होता है सबसे पहले। तो उस
हम्म
पोर्ट को लाइव करने के लिए मेरे पास लिसन नाम का एक मेथड होता है, जिससे कि मैंने पोर्ट को लाइव कर दिया। तो किस पोर्ट पे लाइव हुआ, 6000 नंबर पोर्ट पे लाइव हुआ। अब इनिशियली क्या होता है, पोर्ट तो लाइव हो गया है, अगर मैं कोई भी रिक्वेस्ट सेंड करूंगा इस पोर्ट पे तो डिफॉल्टली ब्राउजर मेरा स्लैश राउट ढूंढता है। अगर स्लैश राउट डिफाइन नहीं किया है तो वहां पे मुझे आउटपुट आ जाएगा कैन नॉट गेट स्लैश राउट करके, ठीक है। तो मैंने यहाँ पे स्लैश राउट डिफाइन किया, ठीक है। और बाय डिफॉल्ट स्लैश राउट को जो रिक्वेस्ट सेंड होती है वो गेट मेथड से सेंड होती है, ठीक है।
हम्म
तो गेट मेथड किया तो उसमें स्लैश राउट मेरा राउट डिक्लेयर किया, उसके बाद कॉल बैक फंक्शन डिफरेंट डिक्लेयर किया। ये कॉल बैक फंक्शन में जो मेरा पहले दो पैरामीटर थे, एक था रिक्वेस्ट, एक था रिस्पॉन्स। तो रिक्वेस्ट जो मेरा यूज होता है पैरामीटर, ये अगर कोई भी क्लाइंट मुझे किसी भी तरह का डेटा सेंड करता है सर्वर को, जैसे कि अगर हम एग्जांपल लें, अगर हम कोई फॉर्म फिल करते हैं तो फॉर्म फिल करने के बाद जब सबमिट दबाते हैं तो उसमें जो सेंड होती है, सॉरी हम गलत बोल गए एक जगह पे, जब मैं सर्वर से कोई चीज रिसीव करनी होती है, ठीक है, तब मैं गेट यूज करता हूँ। लेकिन अगर सर्वर पर मुझे कोई चीज सेंड करनी होती है, तब उस जगह पे मुझे पोस्ट यूज करता है, पोस्ट मेथड यूज होता है। तो जब हम फॉर्म हम भरते हैं वहां पे, जब सबमिट करते हैं तो वहां पे हम पोस्ट मेथड यूज करते हैं, ठीक है। और देखिए मतलब अभी एक एग्जांपल आएगा जब और भी सर्वर बनाएंगे, अभी तो आज पहला ही है, अभी 3 से 4 सर्वर बनाना है, ठीक है। तो वहां पे अच्छे से शो करेंगे, ठीक है। अभी अभी और हाँ, जब मुझे सर्वर से कोई चीज यूजर को आती है तो वो डॉट गेट मेथड के थ्रू आती है, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे मैंने ये कॉल बैक फंक्शन डिफाइन किया, और यहाँ से मैंने क्लाइंट को सेंड कर दिया रिस्पॉन्ड, जो कि जेसॉन फॉर्मेट में था, और ये जेसॉन का मतलब ये आउटपुट रिसीव होगा क्लाइंट को, ठीक है, विथ स्टेटस कोड ऐसे। तो स्टेटस कोड ऐसे सेंड करा जाता है। और इसी की तरह हम बाकी एक मेथड और मैंने बनाया है डॉट पोस्ट मेथड से, जिसकी राउटिंग मैंने डिफाइन करी है स्लैश एग्जाम्पल, ठीक है। तो उसका यहाँ से नॉर्मल मैसेज कैसे सेंड करते हैं वो यहाँ पे आ गया। तो इतना आज हम लोगों ने सीखा है, ठीक है। तो दिस इज फॉर बाय मी फॉर टुडे। So as we go on, we will see how to. I will show you one file. So what we will try to learn with me. What you all guys will try to learn with me. So today I have just implemented this basic this HTML server one. So today I have shown you this how we can. In my next session, I will show you. Next, if there will be next session of FSD 11, then I will show you. If there will be SQL, then that's a different thing. So in my next server, I will show you how we can separately make the front end files here, over here, and how we can render those front end files with the server. So this is the next thing, and these all you can see how we can make the forms, ठीक है। तो ये how we can send the request through how we can make the login route and send our all these things.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that
In
we will
next
use
session,
for
you
the.
can cover it. So just we are
So
wrapping
this
our
is.
session. So
Mm,
Keshav, start
thank.
off the screen share. I have to tell something.
Mm, okay. Yes.
So basically, like uh, due to Diwali, we have like a gap of 15 days, and after that, we are starting session evening from now onwards. I have to one thing. I want to add one thing that uh, my second, like Kubernetes part second is completed, and basic like basic architecture of Kubernetes, I have done it. I explained all the things. Abstract view, I will give all abstract view of Kubernetes. I give through a lecture delivery. Okay, so I explain all the things, how the architecture works, how many nodes, how the master node, how the worker node, what is master node, what is the control plane, what is minions in Kubernetes cluster, how the network are created, what is pod, pod is the smallest unit. So inside that pod, many dockers are present. Sorry, many containers are present. So every server, every container, every pod, there is architecture. So in next session, due to due to problem with my laptop, we are not continuing our Kubernetes part 3 right now. We are just like in you will revise all the concepts which I tell you in previous session in Kubernetes 1 and Kubernetes 2. Today just I give you a small information that our Kubernetes part 3 will start in next Saturday, not in today, because my laptop has a problem, and this my laptop can't be able to open the Docker engine. Without Docker engine, I can't explain anything about the Kubernetes, because Kubernetes and Docker, Kubernetes uh, configuration, Kubernetes networking cluster is created on a Docker. We have to enable Docker, and for that we have to require a minimum CPU and space. Like Docker engine will require some amount of storage and some amount of a CPU to run separately, because it is a Linux machine. It is similar to a virtual machine. I tried many times about by running this, I uploaded a video about software requirement. In that video, it will in my laptop there's not sufficient space, and just it will be downloaded, and when I started working, then there is a problem in working. It will give an error in my laptop about that Okay, so here in that cluster, I tried with a Hyper-V, I tried with a VirtualBox, I tried with a I tried with a VMware workstation. In all these are hypervisors. So I tried to run our virtual machine, our mini cube with these virtual machine. But it will give an error, like your device have not my hardware device not permitted to run a virtual machine there, because the virtual technology is not enabled in my laptop. So I just go with the BIOS setting, and I try to open the BIOS setting and try to enable the virtual technology, and just try to enable this. But after enabling also the same will be happen. So just I tried with a Docker, and with a simple command, the Docker is working. The command is working, and we have successfully configured our mini cube with Docker. But after that, when we open our Docker engine, that it will suddenly stops. And I tried much times, like one time it will be open, after that it will be stopped. I don't know what is the reason, but I configured again, and I just delete the Docker engine again and try to do this. So it will take a lot of time of mine, but I just try to do this. And finally, I find that there was a like hardware problem in my laptop. So it will like virtual machine can't be loaded, because if you start any virtual machine, that virtual machine will take a load of your laptop of some amount and take another machine with your Windows, besides your Windows. So So you must take care of that. If you are running with a Docker engine or Docker or Kubernetes clusters, or working with high level data or high level processing units or virtual machines, so you must take care of that. Your laptop must be at a good stage for performing the operations, because if you not your laptop is not in a good state, that these machines are working abruptly, and that these machines are giving a error uh, in the response of your virtual machine, and just you getting an error rapidly. So just try to before working that, you just try to restart your laptop, reboot your laptop, or I suggest you will just delete all the unnecessary files which you available on your laptop, then try to make a Docker
So,
engine, then configure it, then it will be good.
so
Yes,
main
Keshav.
thing is right now your laptop is not in the good state to explain the further concept. So this is the main thing, है ना?
Yeah. That's I will giving you that a reason also, and a statement
Got
also.
it, got it.
Yeah. And a statement also, if you want to run with me, na, then you should have your laptop is configured. Because in these types of Docker and Kubernetes, configuration and the working is more important. Virtual machines are taking a most of the part of your implementation. So just be accurate about this.
Uh, Got it, got it. You can continue in the from the next week.